Coming up on OU Nightly, this routine traffic stop leads to this confrontation, and now a federal lawsuit. A Democrat throws her hat in the ring in the governor's race, while the current governor calls for an investigation into the state's mental health agency. We'll tell you why. This is OU Nightly. An elderly Oklahoma City man is filing a lawsuit alleging excessive force and civil rights violations. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Alexa Dringus.
And I'm Olivia Hayes. The lawsuit names an Oklahoma City police officer, the city of Oklahoma City, and the state's attorney general. OU Nightly's Abigail Franklin joins us live in the newsroom to break down the lawsuit details.
Well, the 71-year-old Lake Vu's attorneys claim his civil rights were violated after a traffic stop in 2024. Here's video from police body cam footage, but we want to warn you that this video could be disturbing to some viewers. The body cam shows an argument between the now former officer, Joseph Gibson, and Vu over a traffic citation that Gibson tried to issue. Vu didn't understand why he was being pulled over to begin with, and emotions started escalating. Vu's attorney says that he suffered from a brain bleed and broken bones that needed surgery and an extensive hospital visit after this incident. His legal team is suing the city and the now former officer and the attorney general in violation of Vu's civil rights. They also alleged excessive force and assault and battery. Vu's attorneys are asking for compensation here, as well as an apology, in hopes that this will go to a jury trial. This is going to be a developing story, and we'll be following it as more information comes into our newsroom. But for now, live in the newsroom, Abigail Franklin, OU Nightly.
Thank you, Abigail. House Minority Leader Cindy Munson announces her candidacy for governor. She joins Attorney General Getner Drummond, former Speaker of the House Charles McCall, Lisa Mitchell-Haynes, and Mike Mazie in the race for 2026. She looks to have a bipartisan campaign approach.
I'm going to spend the next year and a half traveling our beautiful state, listening to people and asking them what's important to them.
So far, she's the only Democratic candidate to announce.
Also happening at the Capitol, OU students are recognizing the 30th Annual Research Day. OU Nightly's Clay Webster has more on the day's impact.
Research Day is a chance for students to gather from universities and colleges across the state to celebrate their hard work and dedication towards research. I spoke with the director of the Oklahoma National Science Foundation, Kevin Wagner, who emphasized the importance of this event.
So, really for the future of Oklahoma, I feel that this is extremely important because our future in the state is really highly dependent on our workforce being well prepared in, like I said, in STEM, in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Several OU students are here presenting their work, including junior Megan John, whose cancer research could be life-saving.
I am researching the role of MLKL in liver cancer progression. So our overall research concludes that whenever we block out this protein called MLKL, especially involving liver cancer, we see a decreased formation of the cell proliferation within liver cancer. And we were able to conclude that whenever we inhibit the protein MLKL, it decreases tumor incidences within liver cancer.
And chemical engineering student Gabe Overholt stresses the commitment it takes to get here.
It just really shows how much dedication our whole research team has into undergraduate research and how hard we work to get into things like this. I spent hours upon hours this summer just working to get results for this project, and I'm just really happy, glad that I got to get here.
Clay Webster reporting. 5 OU students out of 25 participants were recognized.
Governor Kevin Stitt is designating a special investigator to examine the Oklahoma Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services. His concern is the agency's finances under its previous leadership. He says the investigator will examine every aspect from finances, employment, records, and contracting practices. In a statement, he says he's had frustrations with the department for years, and with new leadership eyes, it has shown problems needing attention. The investigator will regularly update Stitt's office. The Trump administration freezes $2.2 billion in federal research grants for Harvard University. OU Nightly's Willie Gillespie has that and the rest of today's national and international headlines from the News Center. Willie?
Alexa and Olivia, Harvard's president refuses to eliminate diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, ban masks on campus, and reduce merit-based hiring and admissions reforms. And the White House is punishing the university. Harvard is the first university to not cooperate with the Trump administration, as it demands compliance from other elite colleges as well. And in a Manhattan courtroom, jury selection begins in Harvey Weinstein's retrial of his landmark sexual assault case. Weinstein was found guilty in 2020 and sentenced to 23 years in jail. But in April of last year, a state appeals court threw out his conviction and ordered a new trial. Once one of Hollywood's biggest figures, Weinstein denies ever assaulting anyone or having non-consensual sex. And President Donald Trump says he'd like to deport U.S. citizens to prisons in El Salvador.
We also have homegrown criminals that push people into subways, that hit elderly ladies on the back of the head with a baseball bat when they're not looking, that are absolute monsters.
And immigrants have already been deported to the mega prison, and now the administration says it's seeking out ways to deport legal U.S. citizens as well. And an advisor of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has been escorted out of the Pentagon. Dan Caldwell has been placed on administrative leave for a, quote, unauthorized disclosure after being identified during an investigation into leaks at the Department of Defense. Olivia, Alexa, back to you.
Thanks, Willie. And sniffle season is in full swing here in Oklahoma.
Yeah, grab your tissues and take a seat. Our OU Nightly meteorologist Joel Robinson is here to tell you just what you need to know. Joel?
Yeah, ladies, unfortunately, allergies are still going to be an issue. You can see the greenery across our Weather Center cam. Unfortunately, that's adding a little bit of issues to our air quality. Trees at very high, grass is also at high, and that's expected to continue as we continue through the week. A little bit cooler than we've seen so far, 67 degrees and clear skies. Very comfortable for us out there. Coming up in Maine weather, talk about the allergies, warm and quiet for the midweek, and a very active Easter weekend. Back to you.
Thanks, Joel. A Norman bookstore is taking local to the next level. After this break, we have more on how this store and its owners are uplifting the stories and voices in the community.
But that's not all. We'll also be introducing you to our latest Pet of the Week. Stick around to meet one sweet, low-maintenance pup ready to be your forever friend.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
here in Oklahoma is something we take pride in. A local bookstore wears it like a badge of honor. OU Nightly's Allison Proctor tells us more on how the store has served Norman and its community for decades.
April 26th is National Independent Bookstore Day, and a bookstore here in Norman takes local to a new level. Norman's oldest bookstore is the Green Feather Book Company, and they have served Norman for over 60 years.
It's very community engaged, like there are author events or like we have book clubs almost every single week, like of different things just to bring people in and get people talking.
However, when you walk in, you learn this bookstore is not like the rest. The Green Feather Book Company highlights Oklahoma's voices to share their stories.
It's a whole section for our home, and it has like authors from here. It has like nature things about here, about the area around. So I think just showing that this place, and like also like for Native stories, like the voices and stories there have a place in our community and like in our lives.
Dakota is also Choctaw and has seen firsthand how important it is to share Native stories.
It just opens that space to kind of look onto our history and look at where we're at right now, and even just the fun parts like cultural things and like stories and myths, like all of that kind of stuff. It's easier and it's better than to hear it from the word of mouth from someone who's coming there than like if you were to Google or something.
We all have a story with differing backgrounds. Oklahoma is no exception, and the Green Feather Book Company will continue to serve and highlight Norman's local voices.
If you're an Oklahoman or if you're Native, like you do have a story, and it is important, even if it's not as flashy or as fancy as some of these other ones, it's still a story to tell and engage with.
The Green Feather Book Company is more than just a place where you can buy books. It is a place where Oklahoma voices can gather and come together. I'm Allie Proctor in Norman, OU Nightly.
Thank you, Allie. Now, National Independent Bookstore Day is right around the corner, so go find your local bookstore and join in on the fun.
This week's Pet of the Week is hoping to win your heart in more ways than one, and he's got the mark to prove it. OU Nightly's Emma McAndrews introduces you to Chip.
Most dogs wear their heart on their sleeve, but Chip, he wears it right on his back. This sweet boy has a literal heart-shaped spot, and he's been waiting since Valentine's Day to give it to someone special.
Chip is a black and white mix who loves people, cuddles, and just being by your side.
He essentially just wants to be your partner in crime. Whatever you're getting into, he's going to get into also.
But even with all that love, life in the shelter hasn't been easy.
So Chip has what's called happy tail. And happy tail is when they are in a kennel, and when they're wagging their tail excitedly or out of anxiety, that tail hits both sides of the wall and it just busts open the end.
Staff say the best medicine for Happy Tail is a home where he can wag freely and heal with love.
He's going to give and he's going to receive all of that love. And so getting him into that home, he's going to appreciate that.
Whether you're a dog lover or just believe in love at first sight, Chip might be your match, and you can meet him today at the Norman Animal Welfare Center. He's got a heart with your name on it. Reporting from Norman, I'm Emma McAndrews, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Emma. If you or someone you know is interested in Chip or any of the other pets from Norman Animal Welfare, you can find their website on normanok.gov. You can also call the number on your screen. And the hours are ticking down to get your taxes in.
We have what you need to know as you finish filing right after this break.
And your Easter plans may need to be moved indoors. Your full forecast is next. You're watching OU Nightly.
Love the hustle, Cliff. Who are you?
Your lungs.
We're quite proud of you.
Even though you quit smoking years ago, you may be at risk for lung cancer.
Okay. Well, with the routine screening, you can detect it early when it's more curable.
Sounds good, guys. Can I get a little space here?
Biologically, no.
Okay.
Listen to your lungs. Get a routine screening that could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at SavedByTheScan.org.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
All right, look at you taking the stairs. Who are you?
We're your lungs. We are proud of you for quitting smoking, but you still may be at risk for lung cancer.
A routine cancer scan can detect it early when it's more curable. Good to know. Well, I gotta go somewhere.
So do we.
Listen to your lungs. Get a routine screening that could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at SavedByTheScan.org.
Welcome back to OU Nightly. We're a tad cooler, especially since Sunday, where we saw those temperatures in some locations around or just above 90 degrees, but now we're in the upper 60s to low 70s across much of the state. If you're heading out the rest of this evening, here's what you can expect. Upper 60s to begin at 6 p.m. and we'll be dropping down into the lower 50s as we go towards 2 a.m. Got a little bit of cloud cover building in as well. Here's a wider view of temperatures, upper 60s, low 70s in some locations. Overall, looking at a pretty decently comfortable day out there. Of course, there is the caveat of the allergies being there, which is expected to be persistent through the rest of this week. That is until we get some rain chances in there, which we'll break down soon. Here's our current wind speeds. This is pretty cool to look at. We have an area high pressure off to our northwest, and that's basically driving our weather. We have some fair conditions, and you can see how the winds are moving clockwise across the state of Oklahoma. So kind of a cool effect there with our weather. As we continue on through the rest of Tuesday and into Wednesday, we'll watch as the area of high pressure moves off to our south and east, and those winds will actually shift out of the south, and that's where we'll see those temperatures build even more. So we'll have those warmer temperatures on the way. It'll be a little bit breezy, gusting up to 20 miles per hour. Here's a look at the forecasted highs over the next few days. We'll be building into the lower 80s as we go into Wednesday, upper 80s by Thursday, and we'll be steadily dropping into the low 70s to upper 60s as we go into this weekend. Here's our regional view of temperatures and conditions. Could perhaps pick up a few rain showers in northeastern Oklahoma as we go into Wednesday, but overall we're going to be pretty dry. You notice those temperatures really warm up as those winds shift from the south. And then we get to Friday evening. Unfortunately, we do have a little bit of rain on the way, and that's going to likely affect your Easter weekend. It's going to be expected to be a very active pattern as we head into the weekend. Here's a breakdown of your 7-day forecast. Expected to be very warm as we go into Wednesday and especially Thursday with temperatures in the upper 80s. And then we got a very active pattern coming up as we go into Saturday and Sunday. So you might want to rethink your Easter plans, unfortunately.
Yeah, thanks, Joel, for letting us know. I'm probably going to have to put that Easter egg hunt inside from outdoors, so thank you.
Unfortunately, yeah, absolutely.
I love the heat, but not the rain.
No, it's not ideal.
Yeah, thank you so much,
Thank
Joel.
you. If you haven't finished your 2024 taxes, the clock is ticking. Today is the deadline to get your federal income tax return sent to the IRS. Businesses and residents in disaster-stricken states have been given extensions. Taxpayers are advised to file electronically if possible. Sooner softball is no stranger to history. What history would they make against Alabama?
While OU baseball prepares for the latest chapter of an iconic Oklahoma rivalry.
While Porter Moser and OU basketball keep making moves, and more portal moves from the offense. Hear about who OU football is losing and who they might gain. Next in sports.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. It's here. It's here. Wait. What?
I can't drive.
Why?
My.
Oh.
Jason, let's go see your room.
How was it? Is it good?
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Hello, I'm Kevin Daniel, and it's time for sports. Since the season's end, big names like Jackson Arnold, Nick Anderson, and Jaleel Farouk have left OU through the transfer portal. And today, one more joins them. Running back Sam Franklin will enter the portal according to On3. The senior and Tennessee Martin transfer rushed for 132 yards in 2024, averaging just over 7 yards a carry, with 5 receptions for just 18 yards. The departure leaves a vacant position in the running back room. To parody a Chappell Roan song, O-T-T-T-O-G-O, the Sooners may have Jaden Ott to go. According to multiple reports, the California running back entered the transfer portal yesterday. Though he dealt with injuries in 2024, On3 reports Oklahoma is the school to watch for the junior. The transfer portal moves look to continue for Porter Moser. OU is the favorite to land St. Joe's associate head coach, Justin Scott, and his stepson, Xavier Brown, according to a report from CBS Sports. Brown averaged almost 18 points per game in 2024, along with leading the team in points and assists. OU softball fell to Alabama 2-1 in 8 innings last night. Sam Landry pitched her 10th complete game of the season. Nellie McEnroe-Marinas hit her 8th home run in conference play. This is the first back-to-back conference series loss for the Sooners since the introduction of the 3-game series back in 2012. OU baseball gears up for the first Bedlam baseball since OU's move to the SEC. 2024's Bedlam series was highlighted by Jackson Willett's 3-home run weekend. Skip Johnson's feeling good after a win over Vanderbilt.
What they've done this weekend is attack the game and played with passion and not worried about the result and more worried about the process of the game, because the only thing you can control is like a pitcher throwing the ball to the target. The only thing you can control is getting a good pitch to hit and hitting the ball hard.
The NBA play-in tournament starts tonight. Buddy Hield and the Golden State Warriors host the Memphis Grizzlies. Warriors hold a 3-1 record over Memphis in the regular season. Trae Young, he'll be in Orlando, but not at Disney World. Atlanta Hawks take on the Orlando Magic. They split their regular season series 2-2. This is the 3rd time in a week these two have played. As 7 and 8 seeds, a win tonight for each team guarantees their spot in the playoffs as the 7 seed. However, a loss would put them in a matchup with either the 9 or 10 seed for the final playoff spot. Olivia, Alexa?
Thanks, Kevin. An Atlanta nonprofit is offering a second chance for some.
We'll tell you more about the Beyond the Bars program after this break.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
It's Tuesday, it's almost 7:30, so it's time for a Sooner Sports Pad Brief with Arab Dahu. Now, OU might be done with some Sooner football, but their news keeps running in, literally. While the Sooners are saying goodbye to Sam Franklin, who's reportedly entering the transfer portal, they may be saying hello to running back Jaden Ott, with multiple reports saying the Sooners are leading the way to land him. OU football's GM Jim Nagy called him a, quote, home run hitter. And now with some transfer news, but for OU basketball. On Monday, CBS reported OU's hiring associate head coach Justin Scott from St. Joseph's. His stepson Xavier Brown also announced that he has entered the transfer portal, potentially moving to Norman. Now with some OU softball, as they rounded off their series against Alabama last night, but not in style. The Sooners leave Tuscaloosa losing in their series after a walk-off home run in extra innings. Their first back-to-back conference series loss ever. And that's it all from me. Good night.
Womack at the OU Nightly Update Desk. 4 students are rushed to the hospital following a school shooting in Dallas. Police say they were called to Wilmer Hutchins High School just before 1 this afternoon. At this time, police say they do not know the person who brought the gun to school. 2 of the students injured are said to have non-life-threatening injuries. Olivia, Alexa.
Nikki, thank you. We'll be keeping those students and their families in our hearts tonight. Switching gears though, Alexa, the Beyond the Bars program is something new we're hearing about today, giving some incarcerated men another chance at life.
An Atlanta nonprofit, K9 Cellmates pairs dogs rescued from shelters with inmates they believe can change.
The men learn skills like conflict resolution and effective communication if they successfully complete the year-long program. The Fulton County DA's office could also end up dismissing their charges altogether. And Joel, is there going to be any relief from the rain this weekend to do an Easter egg hunt? I know I had one planned.
Yeah, well, we might get maybe a little bit of a dry spell in between rain showers, but I think it's basically going to be kind of a washout. So if you want to do any sort of Easter egg hunt, I definitely recommend bringing an umbrella or rain jacket for sure.
I'll have to have the plastic eggs for sure, but
oh yeah,
in the basket, ready to go on
Yep.
my toes. Throw them out, pick them up.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Definitely recommended, unfortunately.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Joel. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Olivia Hayes.
And I'm Alexa Dringus. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live weekdays at 4:30. Good night.
Love the hustle, Cliff. Who are you?
Your lungs.
We're quite proud of you.
Even though you quit smoking years ago.